Man, it's been a long day. It's nice to just sit back and wind at this nice cafe. I got my coffee, 2 pumps of liquid sugar, some cream, some caramel swirl, and now I'm gonna get into some Alice in Wonderland. I can't wait, man. What chapter am I on again? Yo, and I was telling my girl, I don't know why you're mad that I'm spending more time on the game than with you. It's really not that serious. Like, I don't know why she's... No way. I caught one of them in the wild, y'all. Yo! Bro, you are not getting any hoes that way. No way. Are you talking about me? Yo, get a load of this guy. Are you guys talking about me? Yes, we're talking about you. You and that book and that little ass matcha. We know that don't taste good. Stop being so performative, bro. So this isn't a matcha. This is just a caramelized coffee. Like I actually like it. I actually like it a lot. I don't really like matcha. Yeah, you're right, but this is not matcha. Also, I'm just, I really like Alice in Wonderland. Like, it's like one of my favorite childhood stories. So I just thought I'm not trying to hear all that. We know you're lying, bro. She's not gonna talk to you. The barista with the micro bangs and blue hair, she don't want you. So the crazy part is I have a girlfriend, right? Like, I'm sure there's people that like pretend to like have hobbies and stuff like that out there, but I'm not one of them. Can't lie to you. I really like my book, and I'd really appreciate it if y'all... Yo! Isn't that the Labubu with the tote bag? Oh, I told you. In the wild is crazy. I know he gets no host. I know. Alright, well, y'all have a nice day, because y'all ruined my space, my comfort space. So I'm just gonna go. Have a nice day, y'all. Oh, bro, look, yo, we made him mad, y'all. We made him mad. Come on, bro. It's really not that serious. I know if you actually like to read, you would just ignore us, but you don't, right? Performative as fuck, bro. Anyways, y'all want to get ready for that Clairo concert later? This has got to be like some of the stupidest discourse I've ever heard on the internet. Like, I've seen a lot of stupid stuff over my years, but like this takes the cake right here. Hi, my name is Keldawat, and I like performative men. Love them, matter of fact. Hi, welcome to the series where I talk about whatever is on my mind today. Because I have a big mouth, I like to yap about things with no particular end goal other than to start discussion. And in today's little lecture or installment, we're going to talk about this thing called performative men. And apparently there's like an epidemic going around of men pretending to like Clairo and read books and enjoy matcha and whatnot, whatever else, I guess. This is probably going to be the shortest Let's Rant I have ever posted, because there's not much substance to this subject, I feel like, at the very least. And I feel like we are heading into a direction where we're making fun of things that do not need to be made fun of, okay? I feel like there's bigger things in the world to talk about. Not to say that there's no credence, we can solve two things at the same time, but I feel like on our list of things that are, cool subjects to talk about, I feel like this is just not it. So let's get into it. So what is the performative man? Well, according to a 5-minute Google search, it is basically a man who develops these behaviors or adopts a certain aesthetic or interests, not out of, being genuine or to say that that's them being themselves, but they do it with the intention of attracting a romantic partner or seeming more interesting to another person. Oh, I'm so different. I'm not like other people. I drink matcha. I read feminist literature. I collect Labubus. I have a tote bag instead of a backpack. Like, things of that nature, things that apparently they wouldn't be interested in, and they do it with the intention of trying to attract somebody else. Typically, people who are of the girls, people who are women. And the reason we don't like this is because, it's inauthentic. It's not genuine. Let's say, for instance, you have a girl who's read a paper from a specific female author, and a guy was to come up to them and start talking to them about the paper, and maybe he pulls something from the paper that wasn't actually there, or he makes it seem like he knows more information than he actually does. Maybe he misinterprets it. Who knows? Obviously, it would start ringing alarm bells in the girl's brain that, hey, this guy doesn't actually know what he's talking about. Maybe he's leading on more than he actually knows, and maybe he has an ulterior motive, which is to get into my pants, to, get my phone number, whatever. And obviously this is a bad thing. It's inauthentic, it's not genuine, and it prevents us from getting to know the true person's intentions. It's manipulative. It ain't right. There's been a few traits and a few red flags that we have been looking out for when we scope out who is and who isn't a performative man. So I've already mentioned a couple in my little skit and everything, but it's drinking matcha and reading books, and specifically feminist literature. Okay, there's no way a guy would be interested in that. Okay, there's only one ulterior motive you could possibly have to be reading feminist literature, and it's not to improve your understanding of women and build solidarity. It is to attract women. That is it. Nothing else. It's not like you want to be educated or, bring equality into the world. Like, what? So, reading, matcha, having a tote bag. Okay, why are you trying to be so different? Okay, guys wear backpacks. Okay, we're manly men. We get manly metal Stanleys that are not the ones that have been circulating around women. It's what we work with our hands. We carry everything in our pockets. What do you want a tote bag for? Ugh, so feminine. How dare you? You have a labubu on your bag. Girls really like labubus. Why would you want a labubu on your bag, on your tote bag? It's crazy. What else can I think of? You have a mullet and a mustache. It's not a stylistic choice. You're trying to attract more women, aren't you? How dare you? That's not a stylistic choice. Maybe you wear baggy jeans and you wear a nice little crop top, a white crop top. It fits you like a baby. This isn't fashion. You're not making a statement. You just want to get in somebody's panties, don't you? Yeah, you just want a partner. You just want someone to love. That's the only reason you would wear that. Out. And then they they take all these things and they place them in a cafe. You take all these little traits about the performative man, and then where's their main hiding base? It's a cafe, specifically Starbucks. If you're drinking your nice Starbucks matcha and you're on your laptop, So these are apparently traits that are centered around, performative men. Even listening to Claro, apparently. There's no way you're actually interested in Claro. What? You went to a Claro concert? Ah, crazy. What are you? Who are you? So, apparently these are traits assigned to the performative man, this phony little performance. Now, what you may or may not have noticed is a lot of the things that I've mentioned so far are all things that are, maybe not stereotypically assigned to things that men would be interested in, right? It's more or less things that are kind of like a little bit gender coded. They're things that women would be interested in, right? A lot of women like blind boxes right now. A lot of us like labubus, right? A lot of us like to read. Some women like to read as a hobby in their spare time, tote bags. Women love tote bags, right? And of course we like fashion. These are, again, stereotypical things. Not saying everybody likes this, but what you've noticed probably in me saying this in this short segment is these are things that are typically seen as attractive to women because we like those things, right? And we know, okay, it's historic, that when men do things that are opposite of what the majority says, right? What society says that a man should be, masculinity should be, we tend to not like that, okay? We tend to get a little Candace Owen-y. We tend to be like, what? Bring back masculine men. How dare you say you like Hello Kitty? Like, we get mad, right? And it reinforces these ideas that, women have to act a certain way and men have to act a certain way. Women are dainty and innocent and don't speak their mind and are in the house and cooking and make bread like Nora Smith from scratch. And men have to be buff and woo-ha-ha and like camping and hunting and being masculine and mean and dominant and in the patriarchy and Ken and riding horses and cowboy shit. Like, you see how stupid that is? Like, we put each other in these boxes, right? And what I fear personally when we talk about performative men, I'm not disagreeing with the point that, you meet some guys out there that just want to pick up women. I don't disagree. I think that there are guys out there that are slimy and gross and just view women as these things to be conquered. And how do they do it? They make it seem like they're into the things that the girly pops are into, right? I don't disagree with that. I think it's slimy. I don't think it's right. But what I fear this conversation has come to is that we are now assigning these we're assigning these gender labels, right? The performative man. There's no way a guy could be into a labubu. There's no way a guy could be into a tote bag. Red flag. There's no way you could be into that. You're just trying to you're just trying to pick up girls. You're just trying to be in with the girly pops and stuff like that, right? I fear that we might be reinforcing a little bit of classic gender roles when we talk about performative men in this conversation. Because again, I don't doubt that there's guys out there. There's always going to be people who are performative, right? This isn't just a thing that's exclusive to just performative men. This can be, being punk. A lot of people are performative punk. Punk is supposed to be in your head. It's supposed to be a mindset. It's not supposed to be you wearing black and you putting on face paint and putting on a band tee, right? It's supposed to be a mindset of rebellion. But, it's turned into just this aesthetic, the way that you look. All right? We have performances for a lot of different things in life. Punk was just an example that came to my head. We have performances for a lot of things. But does that mean that these things are bad and that anybody who enjoys these things are bad and we should be weary of it? No. Okay? I fear that we are stereotyping, okay? I fear that we are poking up the wrong tree. And while I've seen a little bit of the girlies, get a little bit skeptical when a guy says they like Claro over on TikTok and everything like that. Well, I think the girlies are skeptical and, use your discretion, obviously. Don't date somebody who's not being authentic, right? Usually girls are able to tell it from a mile away and we're able to deal with it and we're like, ew, you're gross. I'm going to find somebody who actually does enjoy those things. Notice how I said find somebody who actually enjoys those things, because there's people that exist that do like these things, right? But I've noticed a lot of the vitriol for performative men comes from other men, right? They're mad. They're like, oh, bro, you ain't getting no hoes. You ain't getting no hoes from reading. You're not aura farming. You're not, you don't have any aura, bro. You don't have any of this, any of that, right? I've noticed this very vitriol, how don't be the performative man to other men. I've noticed that you guys are very angry with each other. And to that, to me, it rings of where, again, reinforcing these gender stereotypes. If you like any of these things and you are into any of these things, you're not it. You're not part of the club. You're inauthentic. And I just feel like it's a little bit silly. I think it's a little bit silly to be making fun of guys who read, guys who have mullets, guys who have mustaches, guys who wear baggy jeans and like to wear a crop top, Benton Boone type shit. I think it's a little stupid. I think it's actually causing a little bit more harm than actually helping people, right? How about we say, you don't gotta pretend to read to get a girlfriend or attract a partner. Why aren't we raising each other up? Why aren't we saying, hey bro, you be yourself, because a lot of the discourse that's going around on YouTube is just, don't be this, don't be that, don't like Claro, don't like girly music, don't read, women don't, what? You're not gonna get any women that way. You're not gonna get any hoes that way. You gotta be Andrew Tate, bro. You guys aren't giving each other good advice. I feel like you guys are just reinforcing a bunch of gender stereotypes. And I'm not gonna lie to you. You guys already have a problem with men anyway, already have a problem with not being able to be themselves, not being able to express themselves, not being able to share their emotions, not being able to there's a loneliness epidemic going on, right? I feel like you guys are all familiar with that. There's a whole epidemic going on of men feeling like when they don't meet the standard that is masculinity, what is stereotypical masculinity according to society, they feel like they've failed, right? They feel like they've not met the standard. They've not reached a certain point in their life. And because society has told men, hey, you have to reach this certain status, which is provider, workaholic, liking these certain things assigned to men. And if you don't meet that mark, what's the point in you being here on earth? And that's a sad thing that's a sad thing to feel about yourself. And it makes me sad. It makes me sad because regardless of gender, I think everybody has a purpose to be here. Everyone has a purpose in life. Everyone has a plan to be here, right? I don't think we should be making men feel like you have to fit this mold in order to be accepted, right? As a human being, you shouldn't have to fit a certain mold. As a woman, you shouldn't have to fit this certain mold of being the homebody, the one who takes care of the kids and things like of that nature. You shouldn't have to meet these standards or else you feel like you don't have a purpose in life. That's a very stupid way to look at things. You only get one life. That's a very stupid way of putting people into these boxes when we're all so different from each other. And we got to learn how to accept these differences, okay? I just fear with this whole performative man, you're being performative. There's like, I feel like we are instead of like weeding out the ones that are bad, weeding out the ones that are just like, women eaters and stuff like that, like, players and like playboys or whatever. Like, I feel like instead of weeding out those people, we are demonizing the people that are actually into these things. We are making it seem like things such as reading, which is something everybody should know how to do, okay? Everybody should know how to do this. It just seems like you guys are assigning gender roles to these things, and I think it's stupid. I think it's dumb. I don't think we're helping anybody, okay? And I feel like you guys are exasperating your male loneliness epidemic and you guys not being able to share stuff about yourselves, okay? Last time I checked, you guys are very like, you feel like you can't be yourself. You feel like you gotta live up to this certain standard. So why are you making fun of the dude with the Labubu on his backpack? All right, you guys wanted to be young and free, and you guys want to support each other, and you guys want to and the male suicide rate and stuff like that, and yet you make fun of each other the moment somebody's different from you. I don't understand that. I think I think you guys are exasperating your issue. I'm just saying. So those are my thoughts on it. At least one part of my thoughts on it. The second part of this conversation that's really irritating me is this demonization of reading, or assigning it again to a gendered experience. Everybody should know how to read, okay? Everybody should pick up a book or a paper once in a while, okay? Like, I would even give you credence if you read online. Maybe even, like, listen to an audiobook, something to jog your brain, something to make you think, right? That's not a gendered experience. That is something everybody should know how to do, okay? And what I don't understand is why we're making fun of bro for being literate. Why are we making fun of bro for trying to exercise his brain? Okay, some of you guys can be gym rats and understand that you gotta pump the iron, pump your muscles, whatever. All right, clearly you can see I don't know the lingo for going to the gym, but some of you guys can understand that, but you can't understand exercising your brain too. That's scary. How is that not scary to you? Not to work out your brain, not to think. Like that's scary. Bro's reading. Bro's literate. My guy. Bro's over here reading at a college level and you're over here and can't get past the second grade level. What the second grade level of reading? What is there to make fun of? You're making fun of like not regressing? I guess I don't get it. I don't get it. What it rings of is maybe some of you guys are jealous. Some of you guys are mad that some women are attracted to guys who are a little bit smart. People who are literate, people who are competent, people who care about certain issues like feminist literature. Maybe instead of getting mad that bro is potentially picking up chicks because he's reading Alice in Wonderland, the classic version, maybe instead of getting mad at that, maybe you should go pick up a book. Maybe you should go pick up a pencil and start reading something to yourself. All right. This is what it rings of. It rings of of guys being mad that you can attract a partner by, maybe being yourself, which I'm gonna assume most guys who like these things, who actually like these labubus and like, you know, reading and stuff like that, maybe you're mad that they are actually being authentic, they are being themselves. Again, I think that's another door we need to open to this conversation, is maybe you're upset about seeing other people be themselves because it makes you insecure that they are able to do that and you're not able to do the same thing. Isn't that a thought? Isn't that a oh my goodness, isn't that a light bulb moment? That's what it rings of. It stings of jealousy, and it stings of anti-intellectualism, and it stings of gender norms, enforcing gender norms. That's all this conversation about performative men is ringing. Okay. Do I disagree that there's people out there that don't pretend to have hobbies and to pick up women? Yes, of course. I feel like most women are smart enough to weed those little shits out, and we have the PSAs for those who may need a little bit more attention of these guys that are doing these things. Okay, but I don't think it's not an epidemic. Okay, you know what is an epidemic? What's going on in Palestine? That's an epidemic right now. All right. I think our priorities are in a different way. So the next time you see a man reading in Starbucks, I'd prefer that it wasn't Starbucks. Why not be a local coffee shop? Okay. We don't like genocide. The next time you see somebody reading or with a tote bag or with a labubu on their bag, you know what you got to do? Mind your business. Mind your business and worry about you. Before you're worrying about that dude reading or whether or not he is picking up women, ask yourself, damn, have I picked up that Harry Potter book lately? Damn, have I taken the time to like think about women's plights and maybe could crack open a book or two? That seems like a better question. All right. Help your brothers out. Help your brother out. Make this a conversation of, if you're really that big on performative men and want to help the issue of performative men, maybe instead of saying what you guys shouldn't do, which is like Claro, which is, you know, normal. She's amazing. She's a great artist. Maybe instead of that, what you should be focusing on is, you know, ways to support each other, ways to make it so guys are able to be themselves. Why isn't the conversation be yourself? Be happy, be healthy, be yourself. Like, I don't understand. I don't get it. But, you know, men love to tear each other down. People like to tear each other down. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. So that will do it for this installment of Let's Rant. This has been a discussion about performative men. I think you guys need to stop being jealous. I think you guys need to stop enforcing these boundaries on yourselves. Just enjoy life. It's too short. You live too short a life to be worried about what the next person over is doing at the cafe. Okay, it's not that serious. I do know that I owe a bunch of videos now. It's been like 2 weeks since I've posted. But I wanted to kind of include this one, and I usually get irritated because I want to post. There's so many things I love talking about. I know I say it all the time, but there's so many things I love talking about, but I always get focused on editing. I'm going to try to edit this like minimally so I can just post, because that's what I enjoy doing. I enjoy having these conversations and talking and whatnot else. So I don't think I need to stop getting the mindset of focusing on making everything look perfect and everything like that, because editing takes the longest. But that's what I'm working on. As you can see, I'm cleaning my room. Room tour should be out. I don't want to promise it. 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. I promise. I promise. I promise. I promise. But with that being said, tell somebody you love them today, because tomorrow is not promised to us. Men, especially, tell your bro you love your bro. Okay, there ain't nothing wrong with telling somebody you love them. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.